I was really excited about something that I had in the mail the other day, and that was my dual port muffler cover for the exhaust on my 461 here. Now these, I'm told these fit the 461. They're definitely a match for the 046 and the 460, which this saw is based off of. So let's go ahead and open this thing up here and have a look-see at it. Now one thing that we can notice here, obviously, that's where it's going to mount on to the cylinder. That you have this one exhaust port over here, the spark arrestor, and then a secondary one inside here. It's focused, there we go. Quite different from the highly restrictive stock muffler that comes on this saw. So what my hopes are, I mean, it's a really powerful saw. It's 76 cc's. It's pretty powerful, but I would like to get some better flow from out of the exhaust, and then I can adjust the carb a little bit to see if I can't squeeze a little more performance out of it and make this thing really scream. So I already have one of the bolts off here. I just need to take the other ones off, and let's go ahead and get through that. Hell yeah, light the torch. Howard Mother Effin' Jones. One of the greatest rock singers since probably Ronnie James Dio himself. Oop. Let's move the beer out of the way. And there it is. It's the old gasket. All right, as we can see here, it does fit. That's the gasket that mounts to the mounts to the plate that attaches to the cylinder where the exhaust port is. So it looks like it's a pretty good fit. So that is true. What I read online is that these dual port exhausts for the 046 and 460 do fit the 461. Makes sense because this 461 is based off of the older saw, the predecessor. So there it is on the inside there. Got the one port on the side and then the port in the front cover here. So let's go to get this mounted. We have contact. Being Christmas Day, I probably shouldn't go out and running saws making a lot of noise. I can hear people outside, my neighbors. We have about 2.5 acres here, but this is a residential area. So I don't want to be that guy. Some of my neighbors jokingly refer to me as, or us, my wife and I, as the, quote, loud neighbors. There we go. I've done that since I bought this saw. Almost 2 years now. Yep. So we got a bit of an alignment issue. That's what we have going on here. I took off one of the mounting bolts and there is a little bit of you get a little bit of play in here. I mean, not really a big deal, but it finds out that the holes that are drilled in this aftermarket muffler aren't quite lining up. So I'm going to remove it and use a rat tail file and kind of open up those a little bit in the corners, like there and there, so I can kind of split the difference and at least get the shaft of the bolt in there so I can thread it. Alright, well, after egging out those little holes there in the corners, I was able to get this thing. I had to take it off a few times, but now it's going to be fitting. I mean, it's almost bolt-on. This part I got from Bailey's. The part number is, if anybody else is interested, for their 46 or 460 or 461, that is the there it is. Ooh. I tear up my coat here with the cutters. Change this thing, so definitely something changed with the carburetor. The idle needs to go down low, so I have to adjust the carburetor a little bit. But there we have it. The aftermarket dual port muffler plate cover here on the MS461. So I'm gonna time skip here to the next day, and we'll do some test cutting in the wood. Greetings, YouTube. It is Saturday morning here, and it's a beautiful December day. I don't know, it's probably about, I'd say about 50 degrees here. It's not even noon yet. This is highly unusual. I'm going to be running some saws today, but first I am finishing up batch number 1 of some beer that I am brewing. Aside from running saws, axes, and playing music and stuff, I'm an avid home brewer. So right now I'm doing a New England style pale ale. Nice and juicy. Next up I have an amber ale that's going to be going right after this. So my equipment here laid out. This is my fermentation chamber where I like to keep things at nice in the mid-60s. Fermentation temperature control is very important. And I tell you, having 5 days off in a row has just been awesome. I have gotten so much stuff done. One thing that I did here was replacing these door handles in my my pickup truck here. This thing snapped off. It was these plastic handles. So I ripped it off, replaced it with this metal handle, but I also reinforced the inside where it mounts onto it. Did the same thing for the passenger side too. And this is actually a pretty recent acquisition. This truck here, I've always wanted one of these old body style Ford F350s. This one here has the famous 7.3 liter International, the T444E turbo diesel. And even though this truck came off the manufacturing plant when I was still in high school, This thing has 224,000 miles, so it's just broken in, and I absolutely love this truck. Probably more than I'll ever need, but you know, hey, if I'm going to buy a 24-year-old truck, I at least want to get another 10 years out of it, probably more. But yeah, so I'm just hanging out, drinking coffee, and brewing some beer. About 2 or 3 more hours here, and I will be done the second batch, get everything cleaned up, and we'll bust out some saws. Particularly the 461 with the modified muffler. I'm sorry, it's the aftermarket muffler, dual port exhaust. Really looking forward to that. I need to get that thing tuned up. All right, it's getting close to do the first hop addition here for the New England Pale Ale. So I've got some pre-measured out El Dorado hops from this year's crop. For the first edition, then I'm going to be using some cryo hops, which is very high alpha acid, basically concentrated pellets, to put it in the simplest of terms. Simcoe, Mosaic, and Citra. This is going to be a flame out edition, and also for the Whirlpool Aroma Steep. Right. So let's get these closed up here. Gonna get them weighed out, and I'm looking on time. Woo, getting close. Just had to adjust the idle a little bit, and I just did this really small adjustment with the high jet. Looks like the paint is smoking a bit here. Doesn't really sound much louder. The chain is lightly touched up from the last time I had to hit that fencing inside the tree there. So I don't know. It's could be sharpened a little bit better. All I did was just field dress it up real quick. I think that this the carburetor has limiter tabs in it, because I really can't. I tried to pull the high jet out to get a little more fuel in there, but it won't move anymore. So I'm going to take this back in the shop and look at it, see if there's any tabs inside there, and pull them off. I thought that they were fully adjustable. I think my 271 is like that, but I could be wrong. So let's go take a look. No surprise. That's exactly what was happening there when I was trying to noodle that round, because I was having a hard time splitting it. Right smack dab in the center, another friggin' piece of metal. So I don't know, that chain might be shot after those two. We'll see. But man, it's just unreal. This is a pretty large tree, and that's in the middle of it, so whatever the hell that was in there for a very, very, very long time. Yes, good old chainsaw maintenance. So I'm trying to, well, I'm not trying to, I am fixing this chain, doing a new sharpening on it. You know, it sucks. It really, I mean, I got this chain, I'd say the middle of the year, so I consider it a new chain. Even though I don't use this saw that much, I really only use it for when I'm cutting the big stuff, because otherwise there's no real need. It's a very heavy saw, and if I'm running with it all day, it's just not very pleasant to use. So hitting those pieces of metal or wire, whatever the hell it was in the center of that old tree, I probably knocked off maybe half of the life of this chain. I've been having to remove a lot of metal to get these to fix it. I mean, that's looking pretty good. That one's not so bad. Some of them, I mean, like this one here, yeah, that one's just like completely rounded over. I mean, you can't even, you know, that's not even breaking skin. Yeah, this one's just round over and dulled over. It's at the some of the inboard teeth were okay, but a few of the outboard teeth were just shot to shit. But hey, you know, we're fixing it. That's what we do. So I got a couple more parts, a new fuel line for 1010, working on that. This is good. I just want to put a nice fresh sharpen on this. I like to keep my chain sharp, because sharp chain cuts fast, cuts quick. You know, I really believe in that. See what else I got here. Got a bunch of apple wood that I cut down a few months ago, and cutting up into little chunks here for smokers. For those who smoke meat, apple wood, some good stuff. And we can take a look at the fruits of my labor here. The beers that I was brewing the other day are, woo, they are happy. And look at that. You see it? Maybe.